Get down, deeper and down. Down, down, deeper and down. Down, down, deeper and down. Get down, deeper and down. I want the world to see you're laughing, and you're laughing at me. I can take it all from you. Again, 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 and deeper and down.
Welcome to the This Are Johnny Domino podcast, a heartfelt, moving, and hopefully amusing journey through the musical lives of two brothers from the middle of England. Myself, Steve Woodward, and my brother Giles Woodward.
Hello, I'm Giles. Hello. Nice to make your acquaintance.
How's it going?
I'm good. I am listening to a lot of Status Quo at the moment. They were the immortal words of Mr. Rossi, weren't they? Mr. Francis Rossi.
Now, did he write the words? It wasn't Parfit.
No, Parfit did some other good ones, but that was definitely a Rossi number. And it was a big hit for the Status Quo. It was their only number one single.
That's not true.
I am not lying, unless Wikipedia is lying.
That can't be true. Goodness.
It's a cracking song, isn't it, Steve?
It is. It's a great song. You sent it to me the other day to do some, what we are calling Quonalysis.
Quonalysis. I asked you to do a Quonalysis of particularly of the bass line at the end of that song.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly serviceable bass line.
I think you're so wrong.
No, I mean, there's a nice bit of harmony work that he plays a little melodic figure and then he inverts it slightly. So he basically turns the root chord into a first inversion chord, which is very nice. And then he kind of vamps on your classic power chord figure. So you've got the root, the octave, and the fifth. You know, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
Listening to it, it did raise the question, did Status Quo hear Noi? Because there's a particularly sort of like driving, a motoric edge, particularly to that song. It's very heads down. There's loads of bands at the moment. There's a band called Endless Boogie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everyone talks about, oh, yes, amazing and improvisational and all this kind of stuff. And I've heard some, and it sounds a bit like Status Quo.
I think a lot of good music sounds like Status Quo. I think Spaceman 3 sound like Status Quo sometimes, to be honest, at their best.
Heads down.
Yeah, I can hear some krautrock at the end of Down, Down, Deeper and Down, particularly the album version, which is got a good 2 extra minutes on it. So that's the one I would recommend to you, listener. But yeah, you've tuned into This Are Johnny Domino. This is becoming the number one Status Quo fan podcast in the UK. This is what we're going for now.
I bet there's another one.
Oh, yeah, it'd be better than ours, actually.
You sort of like toss out these comments. There's bound to be someone somewhere wanging on about the Quo.
There will be. But yeah, I remember Status Quo were like a band that your big brother used to like, really, or your older cousin.
Yes. Well, you are the big brother.
Yeah, well, Cool Durrell used to like Status Quo, you see. And I remember when I got my first tape player, my first boombox, Status Quo was the first tape that I put into that.
Nice.
Just to check it out, just to make sure it was working.
Good.
There you go.
And it was a copy as well, wasn't it? It wasn't.
It was a dubbed tape. It was a dubbed tape. I wore that tape out. I really did. Anyway, come on. What we're going to talk. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
on this
podcast,
we're rambling on about Status Quo, aren't we? Now,
can we move on from the Quo? I mean, I know you don't want to, but I think we need to. When we started doing this podcast 46 episodes ago,
feels like years.
It was to talk about music that we recorded in our youth and our past.
Yes.
both of which are the same. And we still do that, but we're increasingly talking about other people's music. And that's what we're doing on this episode, is a bit of us, a bit of them.
We do. And we have engagement opportunities, don't we, Steve?
We do have engagement opportunities.
Or Kam you gai wai in Cantonese.
Is that really?
Kam you gai wai?
Okay.
Just for our Cantonese speaking listeners.
Hi there. And the one that we are concentrating on, particularly in this episode, is interpolation, isn't it? It's people taking the words of a song that already exists and writing their own music for it.
Basically.
Yeah, we did it in the past, and that was effectively, we got some music, but we didn't have any words. So we grabbed some words from a song and stick them over the top. It seems to be incredibly common, is what I'm hearing. Yeah,
it is. It's not just that. It's also kind of taking different songs and smushing them together as well, isn't it? A bit like George Ajan was doing last episode.
Yes.
Collaging songs together as well. So a bit, all of that kind of stuff. It is common. It is common. So we're finding some good examples, aren't we, Steve?
Yes. And the first one we're going to talk about is a song by the artist at this point not yet known as Frankie Machine.
Oh. Was it a while before that then?
It was. We're talking, this is, on the email that he sent to me, he says, on the new challenge front, I found a 4-track recording I did in the spring of 1994.
Ooh.
And it's a Hank Williams song.
Way back.
Yeah, Hank Williams song. He wrote his own tune, which was inspired by the Residents' Stars and Hank Forever LP.
Oh, man, that is a freaking weird record. I was listening to that the other day. It's got some crazy songs on it. It's got Hey Good Looking. That is a particularly messed up version of Hey Good Looking.
Oh, God. I'm not sure if I want to hear that.
I'm not sure you do. I think what you want to listen to what Rob does because it's much nicer.
It's much nicer, isn't it? Okay, and this is the artist yet to be called Frankie Machine with the Hank Williams song. Why Don't You Love Me Like You Used to Do?
And I do.
Aww.
Why don't you love me like you used to do? Why do you treat me like a worn-out shoe? My hair's still blonde, my eyes are still blue. No, you don't love me like you used to do. Things like you used to cure. The same old trouble that we've always been through. And you don't love me like you used to do. Don't get nearer, don't get closer than a country mile. Why can't we be just like we used to be? How come you find so many faults in me? Somebody's changed, let me give you a clue. You don't love me like you used to do.
Yeah, that is our mate Rob with his version of Why Don't You Love Me Like You Used to Do by Hank Williams. As he said, it's very miserable, and you can tell that I'd just been dumped by my long-term girlfriend.
I don't know. That might have been where it was coming from, but I find it quite chilled. Actually, it's quite nice. It was chilled, relaxing, and it had a nice, sultry, slow vibe to it, which I liked.
Did you like the harmonica?
Yeah, very the.
Yes. Well, he said in his initial message, much to his annoyance, a year later, the released an album of Hank Williams covers set to different tunes.
That would be a bit annoying. But
annoying.
Like in the distance of time, I don't think that matters really. I enjoyed it for lots of reasons. What did you like about it?
Well, I just like the fact that people send us songs, and if anybody else would like to send us some songs that we can talk about, then we are always more than happy to hear from people.
Absolutely.
It's interesting because like the seeds of Frankie Machine are in there.
I like hearing Rob sing the words, say sweet nothings like you used to coo. I like the fact that he's using the word coo. There's some cracking words in that song, you know? How far is a country mile?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, there you go. Let's leave that question hanging. And also, is your hair, Steve, is curly and your eyes are still blue, aren't they?
They are. Thank you for noticing.
So it could be about you, really.
I didn't really want to say.
The Hank version is a great one, though, isn't it, Steve? It's really good.
We've talked about Hank Williams quite a bit on this podcast because it's an example of really great songwriting, whether it's country music or otherwise. You know, he's an absolute legend, and the lyrics are fabulous rhythmically precise, painting pictures with very few words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like we're talking right at the start of what we think of as contemporary popular music.
Yeah.
About as far back as you can go.
It's beautiful.
And he's just nailed it right
he really
from the start.
Does. Absolutely. He's an amazing writer. But Rob's version, I thought had a tonal difference that I quite like. I thought it was quite interesting because I felt that the harmonica certainly lent a sense of sort of resignation, really, to that version that we've just heard. It felt like they, you know, quite resigned to the fact that they probably don't love her and stuff, you know, and like they used to, and I'm kind of resigned to that fact. But I think that if you listen to the Hank version, which I did the other day, in contrast, it's a much more upbeat and swinging number. And Hank's got a bit of a yodel in his voice, and he sounds more inquisitive. He's kind of like going, "Why don't you love me?" You know, it's almost like, how could you not love me?
With me drug problems and me manky back.
I'm dressed as a cowboy and I'm singing.
Yeah. I think possibly, you know, some audience, it might be difficult for them to kind of reconcile the misery of Hank Williams's life with the jauntiness of the music. You know, and on first listening, you kind of think, well, this is inane. You know, it sticks to a structure. And, you know, there are lots of sort of like formal devices used in all of his songs, but eventually it just, if you listen to it a lot, and we did,
I still do.
It makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it does, Steve. But I have to say, I don't think we're ever going to, I mean, it's a bit of a lost cause. We're never going to convert people to country music who say they don't like country music, right?
Yeah, but there's got to be something in every genre. You know what I mean? If a genre has a foothold in the world of music,
yes,
there's got to be part of it that will speak to you if you come to it with an open mind. You know, I'm waiting for the English folk song that I like.
Oh, well, nah. You should get into a bit of Fairport Convention, mate.
See, I've tried.
Sandy Denny. She's got the most amazing voice.
Okay, well, you make some recommendations.
I will.
Because that's a bit of a blind spot. Also,
Yeah.
British heavy metal.
Saxon.
Yes.
Iron Maiden.
Yes, the rumpty tumpty rumpty tumpty. Yeah, I mean,
but look, but let's. You know what you've just said, though. I think that's right. We've got to. Maybe we could find.
Okay.
Maybe that we're saying that Hank Williams is maybe the thing that could get somebody who doesn't like the genre of country music to like country music, right? So maybe we're putting it out there. Can you find something that could make us like British heavy metal?
Yeah,
for example. There's a question for you, listener. Anyway,
think on.
Jingle, 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 jingle.
That might be a new jingle. I might just copy that and just use it elsewhere.
No.
I think it's good.
No. Jingle, 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 jingle. Jingle, 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 jingle. Jingle, 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 jingle.
Yes, so that was an example of a song sent to us for our... I mean, it's one song to the tune of another.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't it?
That'll do.
It's one song to the tune of another, and that was a great example from Rob.
Here's a bad example.
Oh, this is a terrible example. And this goes back to the idea that, you're a young band and you've got some music, but you haven't got any words. Oh, let's just you had like a tune a day type guitar book, didn't you? With loads of different songs in it.
I did.
And
one of them
was a song by the Beatles. And it was a kind of childish, our dad likes the Beatles. People of his age like the Beatles, and they don't speak to us, so let's just get some Beatles lyrics.
Unfortunately, we didn't bother with the chords.
Now, this is an interesting recording. It's a live recording.
Live in the living room.
Live in the living room at in Ilkeston Studios. This is Studio...
You nearly gave the address then, didn't you?
No, I didn't, no. But this is Studio 2. Studio 1 being my old bedroom. Studio 2 was, let's call it the live room.
The front room.
Yep.
There's some people there. There's a crowd. Turkey Paul's on here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's not very nice, is it?
No, it's not. I don't remember that song. I want to kill my friends. It's like some sort of, it's a school shooter anthem.
No, that's the one. If you remember, there was an infamous gig that we did, and people used to really like that song. I want to kill my friends, and we were playing at the Alexandra Club. This was when Jock was playing the drums. Hi there, Jock.
Yeah. Then we played in an actual venue.
We played in an actual venue, and we started the song. And then Andy stopped it and said, "Dancing's one thing, Breaking Tables is another. You see, so it was a very popular song in our sets.
But he was a bit of a killjoy, wasn't he? Bit of a killjoy there. Marked his card. He wasn't long for the band after that.
Yeah, but you can see where, unfortunately, he was. But we were young and we wanted to play gigs where people were there, and it was a nice venue. And we did a couple of gigs there.
Sounded very bucolic and nice. But what did you think about that recording?
I mean, it's shocking. I mean, we were preparing for our live debut, which was at the News House in Nottingham, which is like a biker pub, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
But in the upstairs to that pub in February, I want to say 1988, either 87 or 88, we did a gig there on a Friday night supporting a band that will forever be known as the Wayward Lads to our dad. But they were actually called the Wayward Sons.
I know, but the Wayward Lads is such a better name.
Oh, it's a great name for a band. And
they were more like Wayward Lads, weren't they, really?
Of course they were.
It was a more suitable name.
Yeah, but they wanted a support act for them. And we were basically rehearsing our set. So we invited some friends round, and they came around our house, and we played the set. Now, can you remember this, though? We recorded the set, but the first time we played through the entire set, I'd got my tape deck. I'd left the pause button on.
Oh, man, this happens all the time with you, man.
Yeah. So what happened was she said, you've got to stay with doing it again until we do it right. So we did the whole set again.
Well, everyone sounded like they were having a nice time, even though it was the second time they'd heard it. They were still sounding quite enthusiastic. So
I think we had to persuade them to stay.
Yeah, well, there you go. They were at least they've been immortalised on that recording now.
Yes.
Turkey Paul's on there. Turkey
Paul. Who else is there?
I don't know. A few other people.
I think one of my friends from school was there. Her name was Janine. And she was, you were probably the same as me. You had friends in all the different social groups in schools, right? And I kind of did that. And Janine was, she was one of the cool kids, right? Yeah, but then it kind of in the last year at senior school, it became known that Steve liked weird music, and Steve was in a band and this kind of thing. And
is this like Pretty in Pink?
No, she was just a really nice person. She had a boyfriend who was like way older, who was in like a hair metal band.
Oh, Janine sounds lovely.
She was so cool. And
I can't remember her at all.
Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing. That week when we did that recording, I think Andy was staying at our house. I think our mum and dad had gone away and he stayed with us. And we were so pathetic that we managed to persuade Janine to come round and cook for us.
Oh, that was nice, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a terrible picture of Andy trying to come onto her now.
But as I say, she had a boyfriend and she was perfectly happy with him. But I used to go shopping with her and stuff. We can go into town and that. That sort of period at school, right? Where you leave school and then you have to go back for a few exams. Yeah. And everyone changes in that period. And one of my friends, then she changed her name to Morticia or Lucretia.
This is Janine?
No, this is not Janine.
Who are you talking about? Are we going through all of the girls you fancied at college now?
Right, okay. So there was this one, and this one, and this one. And then no one wanted a bar of me whatsoever. No. There you go.
I think we need to move on, man.
Oh, but look, anyway, Janine, if you're out there, thank you for coming around. Thank you for cooking for us, and thank you for sitting through that set twice.
Oh my God, we're dedicating this episode of the podcast to you, Janine.
Janine, yes,
this is for you, Janine. That was really funny. Just you get on about Janine.
Oh, look, she was nice, and she cooked for us.
You really sounded like you were in love with her.
No, Lucretia, I did like.
Oh, we'll talk about the next episode. New feature, Steve's girlfriends.
To all the girls I've loved before.
I can't remember what we're going to do next, man.
It's time for the This on Johnny Domino podcast. Time for some very obscure music. Giles and Steve will probably argue about something pointless. So yeah.
So, Steve, what have you been up to, man?
What have I been up to? Yeah, well, I haven't been doing much, but a couple of weeks ago, before the last episode came out, I went to see Richard Dawson in Nottingham.
Oh, yeah, you did flag that up last episode.
I did flag it up, and it was fantastic. It was a venue called Metronome in Nottingham, which I've never been to before. However, it was previously the place where our dad used to work. It was the post office in Nottingham.
Yeah, it's a nice venue now, though, isn't it?
It's lovely. It was an accessibility dream, and the staff at Metronome, they made it really accessible for me. Nothing was too much trouble for them to make it work, and it was just an absolutely unbelievably pleasurable evening.
Oh, good. Did he play the hits?
He did. He played the hits and more. He was really, really funny.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, did he have some good between-song banter?
He had loads of really good between-song banter. I think a lot of it was quite embedded within the set, which I don't hold against him because, Paul McCartney does the same thing. He had his stories and they were linked with the songs. He didn't just do songs off the current album. He did some deep cuts. He didn't do anything off my favourite of his albums, which is called Peasant.
That's the one I've heard the most, I think.
Yeah, I think Peasant's my favourite, but End of the Middle is really great. It was just him and a drummer, and he had an interesting look. He had kind of longish hair. It was almost like a tight sort of perm. And when he drummed, he would bounce up and down, and his hair would kind of fly up and then sort of like fall down out of time with his body movement. It was very peculiar. It was kind of
like
hypnotic.
the drummer out of the Wonder Stuff, is he? He used to do that.
But yeah, he was great and very funny and really tight. Fantastic guitarist, great singer, just brilliant.
Score out of 10? Oh no, you want to tell us about the support band? Go on.
The support act, that was really interesting. It was an artist who goes by the name of Bread Beddle. Is a young woman called Rebecca Lee. You have to talk about bravery.
Yeah.
She went on stage and she said, I've got a crap laptop. I've got a really crap CD player. Both of these things tend to go wrong. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make some loops. Yeah. I'm going to do it for half an hour, and that is my set.
Wow.
And that's what she did. And the loops were, if there was a problem with it, they were kind of a bit more abstract. They weren't the kind of loops where there would be a rhythm that you could kind of tap your foot to. But there's some interesting soundscapes and some weird bits of dialogue were kind of dropped in on top of it. Particularly, there was one bit which was like a narrative, and it was like a northern narrative, like a Lancashire accent and a Cumbrian accent.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, "Oh, Rob, come to me." And obviously, I'm sitting next to Rob, so he starts to get off. He goes, "Whoa!"
No, it's not you, not that Rob,
not that Rob. But some people didn't really like Bread Beddle. It was not for everyone, but
sounds interesting though.
But the chutzpah of going on there and saying this kit could all fall apart at any moment.
Cool.
It was a fantastic gig.
Score out of 10?
10.
Okay.
10 for Dawson.
Would you believe it? The very same night, I was down the road at another gig.
Yes.
I went to see a band called Melin.
Yeah.
They were a Welsh band with a Welsh name, and it translates as Yellow Windmill. And they're an interesting band. They like dress up like millers. They're a band that make an effort.
Excellent.
They have like a costume and a story behind them and stuff. And it's all very good fun, actually. They're a cracking live band.
Cool. Marks out of 10.
8.75.
Yeah.
I'd go and see them again.
Well, based on what I know about numbers, my gig was better.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It was at least 1.25 better.
Okay, well, next time when we go head to head.
We shall see how it goes.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about the Johnny Domino podcast, but I gave it a chance, and now I think I love it.
Right, time for a actual Johnny Domino song now. And we're going to listen to a song from the album Players, which is probably
Mhm.
the one that I'd recommend people like listen to be honest, if you've never heard Johnny Domino. And this is a track called Ricky and Fred.
Possessed of a simian grace, your face fits and I feel safe. The face fits, now I feel safe. I wonder if we're related. A baby born in human form, believed to be arachnid. To coin a phrase borrowed from a book, that lady's worth a second look. I admit I lost it, like a pebble on a beach. I woke up in a bad mood, didn't want to leave the house. You put your hand in my face and wipe it all away. You put your hand in my face and wipe it all away. Same town, another face. A second thought is taking shape. Count on us, the future's safe. Now all the traps are waiting. All bets are off, the favorite lost, just as he was escaping. His trouser legs too short to conceal the question marks above his heels. I admit I lost it, like a pebble on a beach. I woke up in a bad mood, didn't want to leave the house. You put your hand in my face and wipe it all away. You put your hand in my face and wipe it all away.
Ricky and Fred from the album Players by Johnny Domino.
If Players isn't the best Johnny Domino album, it's very much the shortest.
Exactly. So Ricky and Fred, where's that title from?
As a band, we drew on various disparate influences and we often disagreed about a lot of things. The one area that we actually agreed pretty much wholeheartedly was the B-52s.
All the way through.
Yeah.
All the way through up to now.
Yeah. So it's Ricky Wilson.
Yeah. Ricky Wilson, the guitarist, sadly died at the age of 32 of age-related illness. But, you know, he was probably, I think, one of the best guitarists ever.
Yeah. He was a phenomenal guitarist.
Yeah.
Just an amazing rhythm guitar player. And he also had this, because of the different tunings that he used and the weird guitars that he used, he was able to play rhythm and lead at the same time. And if you listen to particularly the first album, there are definite times where he is playing both parts at the same time in one take.
His playing is so groovy and so cool and so original. Yeah. It's really good. And then you've got Fred. You got Fred Schneider,
Yep.
the inimitable singer of the new wave band from Athens, Georgia. That is the B-52s.
that was a blatant tribute to the B-52s. The first B-52s album that I bought was Whammy, which was their synth pop album, which has got that sort of like continuous drum beat going all the way through, and you've got Ricky's amazing guitar playing. But yeah, Fred is an absolute legend. I think, can you remember that Steve Albini recorded a solo album with Fred Schneider? I think it was one of his favorite jobs that he ever did. And he said, can you imagine waking up every day and your job is to be Fred Schneider? He's got the best job in the world.
So cool.
And I think because Fred wanted to, as backing musicians, he wanted to use like different punk bands. So Steve Albini put out a call to various people in different bands, and everybody wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Because he's such a legend.
Yeah. I mean, he's got an amazingly weird voice.
Oh, yeah.
In a band that's got lots of really amazing weird voices.
Yeah.
So it's incredible, really. I love the vocals.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't see them.
All right. What's your favourite B-52s record?
You see, my heart still says Whammy, the synth pop album, because I just think it's absolutely brilliant. But my mind probably says it's the first album, just because it's so. I think they were upset when they first heard the mix that Chris Blackwell did
Of the first album.
Yeah, they wanted it to sound like it was recorded in a proper studio, and they went to Nassau, recorded at Compass Point, and it ended up sounding like they'd recorded it in a loft somewhere. So
they couldn't produce it into sounding sort of smooth or whatever.
No, I think there was a conscious decision made. They could have easily, made it smooth, but Chris Blackwell made it sound not smooth. And then they basically did the same thing again with Wild Planet, but that sounds a lot smoother.
Wild Planet is my favourite B-52s album. I think it's a really good one. I rediscovered it recently after watching the Minecraft movie, because the song Private Idaho is on the soundtrack. Yeah. But I think it's got some really good. The second side of it is amazing. Devil's in My Car, amazing. Quiche Lorraine, a song about a dog, fantastic.
Yeah.
You got Strobe Light. Want to make love to you under a strobe light?
Filth.
Oh my God. And then it's the last one.
53 Miles West of Venus.
That's it, which is quite a nice way to end the album, you see. It kind of just like drifts off. It's beautiful. I love it so much. Keyboard bass, though, Steve. Keyboard bass.
Keyboard bass.
I love the keyboard bass. And coming back to our song, Ricky and Fred, which I really enjoyed, actually. I was always a bit dissatisfied with that song. And I've recently realised why. And it's my playing. It's my playing.
Hasn't got the keyboard bass.
It needs keyboard bass. I should have played keyboard bass on that. It would have worked really well with like Jim's weird lyrics and stuff and the guitar playing. And yeah, but I just didn't. Can we re-record it with keyboard bass? That's what I'm getting around to.
Well, I did message you, didn't I? Because there's an album by the B-52s called Party Mix, which is some DJs in Europe decided to mix songs from the first two B-52s albums, B-52s and Wild Planet, and turn it into a kind of, it's a party mix. I'm overcomplicating it. And we did a version of that. It was it wasn't a mix. It was a completely different recording of that song of Ricky and Fred as a party mix. So the drum machine sound, it sounds like a Yamaha RX-15. Hi there, tech fans. And the bass playing, if I remember rightly, is keyboard bass.
I'd like to hear that, Steve.
I know, but I've got it on DAT, but my DAT machine has just broken. It will not work no more.
Should we put an appeal out? Anyone who's listening, who's got a DAT machine, we'll send you the DAT if you can turn it into a WAV or something.
Yeah. It's so annoying because I've gone through all of the DATs that I've got. Well, pretty much all of them. They're all in the cloud now. And I listened to Ricky and Fred, the party mix, while I was doing it. I thought, I'll get that later.
Well, at least you've got a bit more space on your desk now, and they've got rid of your DAT machine.
Well, it's still there. I'm looking at it. And
why haven't you moved it yet, man? It's dead.
Because what I do is I've just turned it on now, and I'm just going to try it's still not opening. I've just tried it live.
Live tech fail. Just get rid of it, man. Put it in the bin. Take it downstairs.
Just bear with me. Just we could try once more. Listen. No, it's not opening.
Oh dear. That's sad.
Denied.
Okay. Well, I think we should either get that version and have a listen to that, or I would be open to re-recording that one with keyboard bass.
You love that keyboard bass.
Yeah. But yeah, we used to play that one a lot.
The thing is, Johnny Domino, we had this horrible thing where we would play a song and people would like it, and then we'd move on and just do something else.
But no one liked that one, so we played that one all the time.
People liked that song, but we really enjoyed playing it.
Well, everyone else did apart from me.
Yeah, the thing is, we played it right the way through till the end of our live playing days.
We did. Our live playing days.
Yes, that sounds like a Fairport Convention song.
Our live playing days.
Hi, I'm Giles and Stephen's mum, and I don't listen to their podcasts. I think they're very silly boys.
Don't want to be too much of a Debbie Downer because we're having so much fun, but I'm going to mention the old health content again, Steve.
Woohoo!
Yay. Because I've recently started radiotherapy, and it's, it's a thing, that's for sure. And I've written a poem about it, actually. And I'm going to debut it here with you.
Go for it.
It's called Radiotherapy Head. TV on the radiotherapy. Radiotherapy free Europe. Video killed the radio. It's you're laughing. You're laughing. It's made me screw that up. I'm going to start again now.
I'm going to turn my microphone off.
Turn your mic off.
I just said all right after I turned it off.
Yeah, turn it off.
Turning off now.
Now. Radiotherapy Head. TV on the radiotherapy. Radiotherapy free Europe. Video killed the radiotherapy star. Radiotherapy gaga. Hello, toilet, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Got a radiotherapy head, and I'm pissing through a needle, and the damage done? Insane in the membrane.
Can I speak?
I'm going for a piss now.
Okay, I'll pause the recording then.
Thank you.
You all right?
Yes.
Hello, toilet, my old friend.
I've come to talk with you again.
That did make me laugh.
Yeah. Well, that song is in my head all the time, every time I sit on the toilet at the moment.
Yes.
Hello, toilet, my old friend.
Some listeners may remember that quite a few episodes ago, we submitted a song to a Facebook group called the PRF Monthly Tribute Series, which is a Facebook group where people choose an artist and all the members of that group submit cover versions thereof. And recently, the artist being paid tribute to was Led Zeppelin. Not an act I'm amazingly concerned about, massively.
Okay.
But there was a great version by an artist called Tearzan.
Tearzan.
That's the way to say it. Tearzan, yes. And I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And it also ties in with the interpolation engagement opportunity that we've been talking about.
It does.
How do you say it in Cantonese again?
Oh, shit, I've forgotten.
Okay, sorry. I knew you were going to say it. Sorry.
Come you guy war. Come you guy war.
Do you really need to put that intonation on it?
Interpolation is tapzik.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's good.
There you go.
So I reached out to Tearzan, which is a gentleman called Taran Beatty, a Canadian gentleman called Taran Beatty, and asked if we could use it. And he said, yes.
Let's have a listen.
It's a particularly great version of Kashmir, but taken somewhere slightly different. I won't spoil it.
Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time he'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, love won't hurry away. He will hold me fast. I'll be home at last. Not a loser anymore like the last time and the time before. Everybody loves a winner, so nobody loved me. Lady peaceful, lady happy, that's what I long to be. All the odds are in my favor, something's bound to begin. It's gonna happen sometime. Maybe this time I'll win. Do-do-do-do-do, two ladies. Do-do-do-do-do, two ladies. Two ladies, und I'm the only man, ja. Money, America, Vienna, Pagoda Pound. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Fremde, étranger, stranger. Everybody loves a winner, so nobody loved me. Lady peaceful, lady happy, that's what I long to be. All the odds are in my favor, something's bound to begin. It's gonna happen sometime. Maybe this time I'll win. Money makes the world go round. Money makes the world go round. America, Vienna, Pagoda Pound. Money makes the world go round.
It's a bit of an inspired combination, isn't it? That?
It's brilliant. Obviously, that is taking elements of Kashmir by Led Zeppelin and sprinkling it with lyrics from the Kanda and Ebb musical Cabaret.
Mainly, maybe this time.
but the bit where he goes into two ladies made me laugh out loud the first time I heard it. Diddly-dee-dee-dee. And then there's a bit of Willkommen, Bienvenue, the Money song.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. So I sent him a very long message and he said, wow, thanks. That sounds like fun. He wrote some words and I messaged him again and said, that's great, fantastic. It'd be even better if you could say those words to have a different voice on the podcast, which is not just an audio clip. Yeah. I'm going to stop giving people the option in future because, as I said, it would be great if you could write or record something. Now I'm going to say record it, and I have not heard from Taran Beatty since that message.
Oh, never mind. What are we going to do instead?
I did a quick Google, the search terms being read text in Canadian accent, and I came up with this.
I first saw cabaret on stage at Ontario's Stratford Festival when I was 17 or so. When I was 22, I was in a production of Torch Song Trilogy, in which the lead Arnold Beckoff opens each act singing a torch song in drag. Our lead chose, Maybe This Time, for the second act, and I grew fond of it from hearing it repeatedly over several performances, which was the best of the possible outcomes to that. So 30 years later, when thinking of Zepp songs to cover, it seemed instantly quite simple to grab that chromatic opening from Kashmir and repurpose it to underlie the Liza Minnelli number. The stuff after that was rather more difficult. But I really like Cabaret. And Zeppelin.
It's good. It's a useful tool, that, isn't it, AI?
It is.
It's useful. It's in the right hands. It could be a force for positive, I think.
Yeah, I hope Taran is not offended by me just grabbing an AI and getting his words spoken. But thank you again to Taran for letting us play that song.
I wonder if somebody could do a version of that where it's the other way around, where you've got like a bit of campy show tune music with like psychedelic warrior in a desert lyrics over the top of it.
Or Baby, when you squeeze my lemons, the juice runs down my leg.
Would that work?
Could do.
Would that work? I thought it was a very apt song to listen to. It felt very contemporary to me in terms of its tone and its mood and everything. And I thought it worked really well. And, you know, considering Cabaret is about the flourishing of a culture in a country which is becoming a fascist state, I think it sort of works today quite well.
Yes. Now think on.
I like the idea of a bit more musical theatre happening on this podcast. You know, I'd like to write some musical theatre one of these days.
Oh, we should.
Yeah. And we can't really mention that type of thing without, of course, giving a quick mention to Dinosaur Planet. Oh, 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 Dinosaur Planet. Oh.
Your favourite MJ Hibbert album?
Oh, I think it is, because our friend MJ Hibbert and his Validators actually made a rock opera.
Yeah.
Which I think should be one day performed live, you know, with in a theatre with props and giant dinosaurs.
It has been performed live in theatres.
I know, but not with props and dinosaurs and people acting.
This is going to be catnip to MJ if he's listening to this.
That's what I want. I think we should do a Johnny Domino musical anyway. Let's work on that.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but it's going to have lots of things where people talk and then it just turns into a song. It's a song.
Maybe it could be one of those musicals which is completely sung. I like those ones.
What's your favourite musical?
Right. I love a chorus line. Chorus line is one of my favourites. I mean, Stephen Sondheim, you can't really go wrong. Sweeney Todd's a good one as well.
Yeah.
Not the film. The film of Chorus Line's pretty good. It's got Michael Douglas wearing a series of V-neck sweaters with nothing underneath. That's kind of, it was the start of his masculinity in crisis period.
You've sold it to me. I love that kind of Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
What about the Book of Mormon? That's my favourite, one of my favourites.
I've never seen it.
Oh, there's some really good songs in it. And Sondheim, Company. That's incredible. Have you heard
Company's
that?
all right. Yeah,
That's really good.
When I worked in the theatre, we did a few Sondheim ones. Yeah, once you've worked backstage at a Sondheim musical, you tend to kind of go off them a bit. But yeah, Chorus Line's great. And also an honorary mention for Hedwig and the Angry Inch, about an East European transsexual who's in a punk band, has a botched sex change operation, hence the Angry Inch, and tours across America. It's flipping brilliant. It's a great film. I've never seen it live, but the film's amazing.
I feel we've given people lots to think about today. Remember, if you're interested in like finding out more about some of this stuff that we're talking about, we have got a blog that is linked to from the show notes. So it's got all the links to the songs and stuff that we're talking about. So
yes,
check it out.
Check
it out.
Just
do it from your own volition.
Yes,
you're a person. You can do it yourself.
You're grown up. You're grown up. Do you really need us? You know, you're probably sitting, you're probably looking at your phone while you're listening to this.
Now,
just sort it out. For God's sake, do we have to fucking give you everything? going back to, first footings, the purpose of the podcast is to choose songs to make up a best of Johnny Domino mixtape. We have 2 volumes of that already available on streaming services, and we are groping our way towards the 3rd volume. We've only really spoken about one Johnny Domino song this week, and that was Ricky and Fred.
And it remains to be seen whether we manage to record a keyboard bass version of it.
Or have a DAT player that could allow us to inflict the party mix on people.
Yeah, well, we'll see if the appeal works.
Can I just say thank you to Frankie for his Hank Williams cover, Interpolation, and thank you to Tearzan for sterling work mixing Led Zeppelin with musical theatre, and thank you to you for listening to this episode of the This Are Johnny Domino podcast.
Thank you, Steve. You've been great.
Thanks.
I'm just going to say that there. But I just wanted to mention, just to give people value for money, I've got one more song that I would like to bring to your attention.
Okay.
Have you heard of a band called White Fence? It's good. If you've not listened to White Fence, I'm saying go away now and listen to some White Fence. It's Tim Presley, an American singer-songwriter, varied career, played with The Fall at one point, like late period Fall. Worked with Kate LeBon.
Yeah.
We need to talk a bit more about Kate LeBon on the podcast, I think. And it's good for fans of 60s tinged psychedelia and weird pop. And this song is what I think is a song for a summer at the end of the world. And it's from the 2014 album For the Recently Found Innocent, which is a hard recommend from me. And the song is called Sandra, When the Earth Dies. It's spacey, bright, and it's got a lo-fi, summery feel. And the lyrics have a positive slant on the apocalyptic vibe. Less, it's all going to be okay. More, when the earth dies, we'd wish we'd died. And it features birds and junkies and Latin lovers and a powdered wig. And it sounds like summer to me. And I like it.
That's a weird summer that you've just portrayed there.
That's my summer. I'm having radiotherapy.
Okay. Fair enough.
Listen to it. You'll get into the vibe that I'm in. That's what I'm saying. Listen to it. You'll get the vibe. You'll get the vibe.
Okay. Thank you again for listening to our inane ramblings, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks.
We will.
Please do like and subscribe to our podcast and recommend it to someone who you think might like listening to all this kind of weird shit. Send us some of your old music and enter the eternal halls of the 4-track gods.
Badam, badam.